Why do we puzzle over silence? This question resonates deeply within many women, especially when it seems like the men in our lives have a tendency to retreat into silence just when we crave dialogue. As we embark on this exploration, let's unravel the cultural narratives surrounding communication and relationships, narratives that often fuel our expectations and provoke our frustrations. Think back to a moment when you found yourself in a conversation where the other person chose silence. Perhaps it was during a heated discussion or an intimate moment when you opened your heart. In those instances of quiet, did your mind race to fill the void? Did you interpret that silence as a lack of interest, or worse, a dismissal of your feelings? It's natural to draw conclusions in those moments, yet often what we perceive as indifference is far more complex. Silence can feel like an unsolvable puzzle. Its absence can lead to feelings of confusion or even frustration, especially when we're yearning for a connection. It's akin to standing next to a great ocean. The waves crash and roar, while the depths beneath remain tranquil and mysterious. The problem is, without understanding the depth of silence, we fail to appreciate its potential significance. Instead of viewing silence as a personal sting against us, we might begin to reframe our understanding. Could it be that silence is a meaningful choice rather than an emotional void? Perhaps we've been conditioned by society, swayed by the notion that conversations should be loud and exuberant, filled with words that cascade smoothly like a flowing river. But what if silence, in its stillness, carries its own weight? Imagine treating silence as fertile soil rather than barren land. Just because there are no words doesn't mean there aren't profound thoughts germinating beneath the surface. So let's take a moment to reflect on the way we interpret silence. When you find yourself sitting in stillness with someone special, what thoughts cross your mind? Do you feel a desire to break that quiet, or do you embrace the pause? Think about the power of stillness. It can create a space for vulnerability and honesty to emerge. Instead of demanding a conversation, what if we allowed that silence to breathe? What if, in our relationships, we cultivated an appreciation for moments of quiet introspection, recognizing that they can often precede deeper understanding? This isn't to say that silence is always comfortable. It can certainly feel awkward at times. Yet, if we shift our perspective, we may discover that in the silence, there lies an invitation. An invitation not just for men to articulate their thoughts, but for us to delve deeper into the layers that silence conceals. Much like the layers of earth that nurture seeds, the silence holds opportunity for growth and connection. As we ponder these questions, let us embrace the complexity of silence rather than shying away from it. Each moment of quiet can teach us about ourselves and our partners if we allow ourselves to lean into the discomfort, to listen with our entire being, even when words escape. This is not a call to endure silence alone, but rather an invitation to engage with it, to view it as a companion rather than an adversary. So, as we continue this journey together in understanding the nuances of communication, I encourage you to take a breath, to breathe in the possibility that silence holds. It's not just about the absence of sound, but about the rich tapestry of emotions and thoughts that are being woven in those still moments. And as you sit with these reflections, consider subscribing to this channel for more insights that will delve into the beauty of silence and the art of communication. Join me in exploring this complex dance of words and pauses as we uncover the depth beneath the surface of our conversations. The fear of vulnerability, what's the risk? This question takes us deeper into understanding the silence we often encounter in our relationships, particularly from the men in our lives. When a man chooses to remain quiet, we might interpret this silence as coldness or indifference. But what if, behind that silence, there lurks a profound fear? A fear woven into the very fabric of what it means to expose oneself emotionally. Consider a familiar scenario. Maybe it's a cozy evening at home, the two of you sitting together, and you decide to open up about a lingering concern or a deep-seated feeling. You look over at him, hoping to find reassurance in his response. Yet, instead of words, there's a silence that hangs in the air like an uninvited guest. In that moment, you might wonder, is he not listening? Is he uninterested? Or is there something more at play? What if he's grappling with his own vulnerabilities, afraid to reveal too much? For many men, the fear of vulnerability can feel like a heavy weight. Society often conditions them to believe that vulnerability is synonymous with weakness. They've been taught to wear a mask of stoicism, to be the strong, silent type. Sharing feelings can feel like standing on a stage, stripped of their armor, with every fear and uncertainty laid bare for judgment. Does that resonate with you? Picture a man in the midst of an intimate thought, fearing the very same rejection. Picture a man in the midst of an intimate conversation. Perhaps his thoughts swirl like autumn leaves in the wind. He wants to share, but holds back, paralyzed by the thought of being met with disapproval. In his mind, revealing his feelings could lead to a myriad of consequences: misunderstanding, ridicule, or even betrayal. The truth is, vulnerability is a leap into the unknown, and without a safety net, that leap feels daunting. But here's where our understanding can evolve. What if we approach their silence with compassion rather than frustration? In those moments of stillness, instead of pushing for answers, could we provide a safe space where vulnerability is welcomed? Imagine how liberating it would be for both of you if, instead of pressing for immediate responses, we encouraged gentle exploration. A simple question like, "What's stirring in your heart right now?" can open doors that silence often keeps locked. As we reflect on this, it's essential to recognize that vulnerability is not just a man's struggle. Women, too, experience this fear. How often have you felt the need to shield your own emotions, keeping them tucked away for fear of the consequences? This shared experience connects us, showing that beneath the surface, we all crave safety and understanding. It's a beautiful thought to create a relationship where both partners feel safe enough to share their vulnerabilities. So how can we foster this kind of environment? One way is through practicing active listening. This means not only hearing the words spoken, but also tuning in to the emotions and fears beneath them. By showing genuine curiosity, you signal that you're there to support, not to judge. Consider this: every moment spent in silence is not an empty pause, but rather a canvas of emotions ready to be painted with words of understanding and empathy. The fear of vulnerability doesn't have to mean silence. It can signify a deeper exploration waiting to emerge. Can you see how embracing those moments with kindness can create a bridge instead of a wall? As we journey together through these themes, I invite you to hold on to the wisdom of patience and empathy. Silence, as daunting as it may seem, can be a doorway to connection if we approach it with open hearts. If this reflection resonates with you, consider subscribing to this channel. Together, we can uncover the layers beneath silence. As we delve further into the landscape of silence, it's vital to understand that sometimes a man's silence is simply a sign that he's deep in thought, processing his feelings. This internal journey reflects a conversation that may not immediately be visible on the surface, much like a river flowing with hidden currents beneath a still surface. Picture this. Imagine a man sitting in a crowded cafe, his gaze distant while the chatter swirls around him. In that moment, he may appear disengaged, but in truth, he's navigating a labyrinth of emotions that aren't ready for verbal expression. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation, trying to sort through your own thoughts amidst external chaos? It can be a disorienting experience. When we encounter silence, especially from those we care about, Our impulse may lead us to fill that void with questions or assumptions. Perhaps we wonder if we did something wrong or if our partner is upset with us. However, what if we reframed this silence as an opportunity for reflection? Rather than viewing silence as a shortcoming in communication, let's consider it as a sacred space for introspection. Processing feelings isn't easy. It's an intricate dance that requires patience and time. Just as a musician doesn't simply pick up an instrument and play a flawless melody without practice, men often need time to articulate their emotions. They may wrestle with their thoughts, untangling each thread before they can share what's truly on their minds. Think back to a moment when you found it hard to express your own emotions. Did you ever pause for breath, desperately trying to articulate what felt too big or complex to put into words? Empathy opens a pathway to understanding this inner work. Acknowledge that silence can sometimes indicate a man's efforts to navigate his emotional landscape. He might be connecting dots, recalling nuances from past experiences, or weighing the potential impact of his words. This internal dialogue can be rich and even transformative, leading to deeper insights and connections once these emotions are finally expressed. Consider those moments when someone shares a profound thought or feeling after a period of silence. How often are those words filled with clarity and depth that would have remained unspoken if rushed? Think about your own moments when you've hesitated before revealing something deeply personal. The time spent in silence allowed your thoughts to simmer, bringing forth richer expressions of what lies beneath. So how can we nurture spaces where silence is welcomed, allowing for this processing to unfold? One way is to provide gentle encouragement, offering a non-judgmental environment where feelings can emerge without pressure. Maybe it's as simple as saying, "Take your time," or "I'm here whenever you're ready to share." These phrases affirm the unspoken bond, allowing the person to know they aren't alone in their journey. As we consider how we engage with those silences, we realize how crucial it is to listen not only with our ears, but also with our hearts. Empathetic listening creates a tapestry where words, feelings, and even silence intermingle. Each moment of quiet can act as a springboard for deeper dialogue. Remember, we all process our feelings at our own pace. It's important to honor these timelines. Are you open to embracing the pauses as part of the conversation rather than a hindrance? Each silent moment can be an invitation to deeper understanding. By expanding our view of silence, we embrace the potential for emotional clarity and vulnerability. Through this exploration of processing feelings, let's invite a conversation that goes beyond immediate responses. It's about creating a rhythm where silence isn't fearsome, but rather a vital part of the communication dance. Each pause can lead to a revelation, each moment of quiet an opportunity for connection. The dance of communication, balancing words and silences. As we continue our journey through the nuances of conversation, let's explore how the interplay of silence and expression can create a delicate choreography, one that deepens connection rather than diminishes it. Much like dancers in a graceful ballet, we constantly alternate between movement and stillness. Each has its purpose, its beauty, and its necessity. Imagine for a moment that you and your partner are attending a dance performance, mesmerized by the way the dancers twirl and pause, their bodies telling stories without uttering a word. The moments of silence and stillness on stage often speak louder than the actions. In relationships, we too engage in this intricate dance, moving between sharing our thoughts and allowing space for each other's reflections. As women, we often carry a wealth of thoughts and emotions. During conversations, we may find ourselves eager to fill the air with words, drawn by the instinct to communicate, connect, and clarify. However, it's essential to recognize the magic that lies in allowing the silences to settle in. Each pause can be a powerful invitation to reflect, breathe, and appreciate the unspoken bond that exists between partners. So, how do we strike that balance? First, we need to appreciate that words hold power, but they don't always have to be used. Sometimes, simply being present with each other speaks volumes. When was the last time you shared a moment of quiet with someone you love? Was it in a cozy living room sipping tea together, or during a leisurely walk outside where the world around you seemed to harmonize with that stillness? Those moments can be equally as sacred as the conversations filled with laughter and joy. But here lies the challenge. Many of us may fear that silence equates to distance. We often worry that if we don't fill that empty space with chatter, it means the connection is waning. Yet, in embracing the silence, we may discover that it acts as a unifying thread that connects us more deeply to one another. Think back to moments when you felt comfortable just being in silence with someone. Perhaps it sparked a profound realization or led to a shared understanding that needed no words at all. To cultivate this dynamic, we must each take an active role in both speaking and listening. Communication is a two-way street, a line drawn between expression and absorption. Each word shared can lead to a moment of reflection, and each silent pause can motivate further understanding. You might find it helpful to lead by example, sharing your own thoughts while leaving room for your partner's reflections. Maybe you could say, "I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed lately, and I just need some time to sort through it. I'd love for us to sit quietly for a moment." This gentle request opens a pathway for connecting without pressure. When was the last time you allowed yourself a moment of honesty? Perhaps you've experienced a wave of emotion, prompting you to pause and breathe before responding. Those instances illustrate the richness that comes from allowing both words and silences to coexist. How often do we rush to fill the air with noise rather than appreciating the quiet moments of depth? Acknowledging that vulnerability thrives in both speech and silence leads to the realization that communication isn't just about exchanging ideas. It's about fostering a safe environment where both partners feel empowered to express their inner selves in whatever form that may take. Whether it's a joyful proclamation, a heartfelt confession, or a contemplative silence, each contributes to a dance that is uniquely yours. If you're feeling inspired by these reflections, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and continue this exploration of communication dynamics with us. Together, let's deepen our understanding of how balancing words and silence can enrich our relationships and create deeper levels of intimacy. Let's embark on this graceful dance where silence and sound intertwine harmoniously, opening the door to genuine connection and understanding. Each step, every spoken word, and every moment of quiet leads us closer to one another, paving the way for a relationship that thrives on both expression and reflection. As we navigate this beautiful complexity, we can find joy in the rhythm of our hearts, meeting in both conversation and stillness. The power of intention, illuminating the hidden depths. Now that we've explored the balance between words and silence, let's turn our gaze toward the guiding force behind our communication, intention. When we approach conversations with a clear intention, we not only enhance our ability to connect, but we also create a framework within which both words and silence can flourish meaningfully. Just as a musician sets an intention before performing a piece, our intentions set the tone for heartfelt exchanges. Think of intention as the lighthouse guiding us through the fog of uncertainties. It helps us navigate the often murky waters of emotions that arise in relationships. For example, have you ever experienced a conversation that felt off, as if you were speaking different languages? Sometimes, when intentions are unclear, misunderstandings blossom, twisting our words and emotions into knots. Reflect on the last time you felt disconnected from a partner. What was at the root of that miscommunication? Was either person's intention unclear? Intention acts as the foundation of our words. Before diving into a discussion, it can be beneficial to ask ourselves, what do I truly want to convey? Is it a desire to connect, to share fears, or simply to find comfort in each other's presence? When our intentions are aligned, an unseen bond strengthens the dialogue, allowing the communication to evolve naturally. Words flow like a gentle stream, and silence becomes a peaceful pause in the melody. Let's explore specific ways to clarify our intentions. One way is to articulate your feelings before initiating a conversation. You might say something along the lines of, I want to talk about something that's been worrying me lately. My goal is to not just vent, but to understand ourselves better. By doing this, you've set a clear intention, allowing your partner to grasp what you hope to achieve, which can lead to a more meaningful discussion. Similarly, let's ponder the role of intention during moments of silence. When you find yourself in silence together, consider what that stillness represents. It could be an opportunity for reflection or a chance for both of you to process your emotions. Rather than allowing unease to seep in, imagine anchoring your focus on your shared intention to grow closer, to nurture trust. In that light, silence becomes a sacred ritual, a moment of united breath amidst the whirlwind of life. The journey of intention is not one we walk alone. We can invite partners to share in this exploration, creating a reciprocal environment. Encouraging one another to express intentions nurtures empathy. Ask your partner, what do you hope to achieve when we talk? This simple question can lead to profound insights, allowing both of you to approach the conversation with shared objectives. Intention is also about being aware of how emotions ebb and flow through conversations. Just as the ocean experiences high and low tides, so do our feelings. Let's consider how a gentle wave of compassion might influence a conversation. Your partner's hesitation to speak might stem from a tide of emotion ready to crash but cautiously held back. Recognizing that provides an opportunity for connection. In those instances, it becomes imperative to blend intention with empathy. You might say, I can see you're thinking deeply. I'm here when you're ready. That acknowledgement can be the safe harbor, allowing those emotions to surface and flow freely between you. As we navigate this discussion of intention, let's reflect on what happens when we forget about it. Conversations may slip into routines, becoming mechanical. Words can transform into mere phrases exchanged without intention, lacking the vibrancy and depth that heartfelt communication brings. Each day, we have an opportunity to set new intentions. Relationships thrive on the freshness brought by conscious efforts to reconnect. By embracing this understanding of intention and its role in our communication, we can cultivate deeper relationship dynamics, paving the way for not just understanding each other better, but for truly witnessing each other. If you're resonating with these ideas, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel as we continue to illuminate the power of intention in communication. Together, we can create a haven where our words and silences resonate with clarity and purpose, leading us toward a fulfilling, intimate relationship with those who matter most in our lives. Let's embark on this journey together, crafting a vibrant narrative woven from intention, connection, and understanding that encourages us all to communicate from the depths of our hearts. The art of patience, embracing the unfolding. As we continue our exploration of communication, let us delve into the essential quality of patience, a vital component that allows both words and silences to thrive. In our rush for understanding or resolution, we often forget that true connection unfolds slowly, much like a delicate flower blooming in its own time. This invitation to embrace patience can transform our relationships, bringing a richer, deeper cadence to our exchanges. Picture this, a gardener tending to a thriving garden, nurturing each plant with love while waiting for blossoms to appear. They understand that each bloom has its cycle and that forcing growth can lead to disappointment or even harm. So too can our conversations grow when we give them the space to develop naturally and organically. Have you ever felt that rush to fix a misunderstanding or find immediate closure? In those moments, reflecting on the beauty of patience may offer a refreshing perspective. How often do we feel the pressure to have the right answer or to resolve an issue on the spot? Many of us instinctively want to dive in, often fearing that silence or prolonged reflection might mean we don't care enough to engage. However, what if we embrace the idea that patience isn't a sign of weakness, but a profound act of respect for ourselves and for those we love? By allowing time for thoughts and feelings to settle, we lay the groundwork for conversations that are grounded in understanding. Patience also cultivates trust in our relationships. When we allow space for each person to process emotions and thoughts, we demonstrate that we honor their individual journeys. Consider this. When was the last time you felt seen and heard because someone patiently waited for you to gather your thoughts? Wasn't that a gift? This practice of waiting fosters a climate of safety where both partners can gradually peel back layers without the fear of being rushed or judged. So how can we actively practice patience in our exchanges? One approach is to set a mindful intention at the outset of a conversation. Expressing something as simple as, "I want to take this at a pace that feels comfortable for both of us," opens the door to greater connection and peace. It signals that the relationship matters more than immediate conclusions or swift resolutions. In doing so, we cultivate a safe harbor where vulnerability can emerge without trepidation. Imagine a scenario where you're discussing something particularly emotional with your partner. If one of you starts feeling overwhelmed, it's perfectly okay to pause. You might consider saying, "Let's take a moment to breathe and regroup," an invitation to be present with that emotion before proceeding. This act of pausing not only reinforces compassion, but also recalibrates the focus back to understanding rather than merely reacting. Moreover, patience allows for reflection, time to step back and reassess feelings before diving deeper. It's an affirmation that what we are discussing matters and that both partners are worthy of a space where their thoughts can be held tenderly. When emotions run high, our responses can sometimes be hasty, potentially creating fractures instead of healing. By nurturing patience, we offer ourselves a buffer against impulsive reactions. Let's also consider the power of follow-up. When a conversation has taken a meaningful turn but emotions remain high, revisiting the discussion can signal your ongoing investment. At a later time, you might say, "I've been reflecting on what we talked about earlier and would love to hear more of your thoughts." Such moments remind your partner that their feelings are valued and worthy of exploration, signaling an open invitation to continue the journey together. Patience is not merely an act of waiting, it's an investment in a deeper connection with one another. As we embrace patience, our words and silences become more insightful, charged with the understanding that we share a sacred space in which to grow. Taking time to cultivate and nurture our exchanges fosters intimacy, inviting love and understanding to flourish. If these ideas resonate with you, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel as we continue uncovering the many layers of communication together. Let us honor the art of patience as we weave this narrative of connection, discovering how allowing our relationships to unfold at their own pace can lead to profound growth and intimacy. As we journey onward, let us commit to embracing each moment, recognizing that every pause and every breath shared contributes to the beautiful tapestry of our lives, revealing the evolving relationship we share together. In patience, we find strength, a strength that nurtures and empowers us, transforming ordinary conversations into extraordinary moments of union. the integrity of authenticity, being your true self. As we reach the final block of our exploration into communication, let's focus on the vital principle of authenticity. In a world filled with curated images and expectations, being your true self stands as a beacon of courage that allows genuine connections to flourish. Authenticity is the soil from which empathy, understanding, and trust can grow, nurturing the bond between partners and fostering a sense of belonging. Picture a nurturing forest filled with diverse trees, each unique in their shapes and sizes, creating a harmonious ecosystem. If every tree tried to mimic another, the forest would soon lose its beauty and vitality. Just like those trees, our uniqueness adds richness to the tapestry of relationships. By being our authentic selves, we invite others to do the same. Have you noticed how freeing it feels when you can speak your truth without disguise? Embracing authenticity allows you to stand tall within your own skin, paving the way for deeper connections grounded in honesty. However, expressing our true selves can feel daunting. Many of us have experienced situations where we felt the urge to conform to the expectations of others, fearing judgment or rejection. But what if we flipped that narrative? Instead of viewing authenticity as a risk, see it as an opportunity to cultivate a safe space where vulnerability can thrive. When was the last time you dared to reveal a hidden part of yourself to someone close? Reflect on how that act of sharing deepened your bond, even if it came with nerves and hesitation. It's essential to recognize that authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or burdening others with every thought or feeling. Rather, it's about honoring your own voice while being respectful and empathetic to your partner's experience. Think of communication as a dance. Each partner moves with grace, allowing space for each other to shine without overshadowing or dimming the light. Let's also explore the art of validating each other's authenticity. When your partner shares something personal, no matter how big or small, respond with empathy. A simple, "Thank you for sharing that with me," or "I'm here for you," can go a long way in affirming their truth. These affirmations foster trust and openness, encouraging both partners to express their thoughts and feelings in a mutually supportive atmosphere. Moreover, let's acknowledge the beauty of acceptance in connection. When both partners embrace their authentic selves, they create a foundation built on acceptance and appreciation of the other's journey. Learn to celebrate the differences. These variations add depth and complexity to the relationship, allowing for growth and expansion. As we wrap up this exploration, let's remember that allowing ourselves to be authentic creates authentic interactions, enriching our relationships. The path to authenticity might sometimes feel uncertain, but it's in these moments of courage that true intimacy and emotional safety grow. In concluding our journey toward authenticity resonates with you, consider subscribing to this channel for further explorations into authentic connections and heartfelt communication. Together, we can continue to cultivate a nurturing environment where both our words and silences reflect our true selves, leading to a more profound understanding of one another. In concluding our dialogue, let's embrace the integrity of being our authentic selves, celebrating the unique expressions and rich narratives that each individual brings to relationships. In this authenticity, we discover the true essence of love, empathy, and connection, paving the way to a vibrant, fulfilling shared journey. As we walk this path together, let us honor every voice, every silence, and every heartbeat that contributes to the beautiful mosaic of our shared lives. Together, we create not just conversations, but profound connections, allowing love to flourish in its truest, most genuine form.